What is up, y'all? Manny, Carrera, your real estate resource. Episode number 13 is about to go down. We got a busy day scheduled ahead of us. We're going to be working today with one of my clients that I've been working with for the last 4 months, 5 months, maybe 6 months. My client that I'm working with right now, she's looking for a particular house in a particular price point here in El Paso, which is very competitive. We're looking just slightly under 100,000. So that alone is gonna put so much competition on us because there's a very limited supply of inventory at that price point. So we're gonna be looking at a house today that just came out on the market. Hopefully my client likes it. And then right after that, we're gonna be heading over to an investment property that I'm actually working with an out-of-town investor. We're gonna do a virtual tour for him. He's out in North Carolina, so he's not gonna be able to be here, but I wanna make sure my client gets the full perspective on this property and he can know exactly what he's about to purchase if the numbers make sense for him. So we're gonna be in front of the property. We're gonna kind of break down some numbers on the property, and that way I could kind of explain to you guys what makes a good investment deal and why we're interested in this particular property. So stay tuned. What do you think about location here?
It's good.
It's not too, it's a corner, but it's not on a busy street. Just because you have that dead end down the street. All right, y'all, so we just finished showing my client a foreclosure, and that unfortunately wasn't the house. It needs a lot of work. So we're back to the drawing board. We're back to searching for houses. And you know, as a realtor, as a professional, somebody that takes my job serious, it's kind of frustrating. Not about the client, but you know, kind of frustrating not being able to find the house for my client in the time frame that I was kind of aiming for. This happens all the time in real estate. I mean, sometimes you're able to help somebody find the house in a week, and sometimes it takes, you know, a couple months. This is one of those cases. So being a realtor, I've realized that I have to have a lot of patience because times like this can get frustrating, especially for me. I've been doing real estate for a year and a half already, and I still run into times where I kind of have to prep myself or pump myself back up to get remotivated to, you know, find the perfect house for my clients. And I think when it comes down to real estate, it does take a lot of emotional effort, you know, and mental effort, because it's not really just about getting up in the morning, changing and showing up. It's really about mentally being there every single day, every single minute, every single week, every single month for your clients. And you know, so we're back to square one. We found a house. It wasn't the house, and gonna head to the office and do another search and keep my eyes posted on what we can find, you know, that's gonna fit my client's description. But you know, it's just a bit frustrating, kind of not being able to find it. You know, it's honestly, I want to go have a fucking tequila shot right now. But aside from that, you know, knowing the market, knowing that we're rolling into summer, I know that a lot of houses are going to start popping up. And when it comes down to it, it's really about speed. You know, we have to keep our eyes posted. As soon as these houses do come up, I have to right away send them to my client, and she's already ready to go. So when I send her houses, she's kind of always on standby to see houses that same day. So we've kind of already gotten used to what kind of market we're in, and that's why there's a lot of urgency on her end too. So knowing that, you know, that kind of gets me remotivated too, because I know that we're on the same page. Me and my client are both on the same page. We know exactly what she's looking for, and we're gonna find it. It's just a matter of time. So time will tell. Sassy, hang in there. We're gonna find your house. All right, y'all, so we're in front of the investment property. So this is gonna be a quadplex. This is 4 units. And we're gonna be doing a virtual tour for my clients. My clients are in North Carolina. We're gonna be recording with this guy, and this piece of technology is gonna help my clients feel like they're here. So we're gonna tour one of the units. Right now, the property is 75% occupied, meaning 3 out of the 4 units are occupied right now. They have tenants. 1 is available for one of you renters if you guys are looking for a place to stay out here on the east side. So let's go ahead and take a look. One thing that I always look at for my clients is the exterior condition. That's probably one of the most obvious indicators of how the property was managed before my client takes over. The property actually that they bought this year, the first property that they just purchased, the landlord did a kind of horrible job at managing the property. There was a lot of maintenance that had to be done that wasn't done. And unfortunately that caused a lot more issues, because as you don't do maintenance, a lot bigger things happen in the house. So when my clients took over the property, they had to get a handyman in right away and you know, do a whole bunch of work. So I always look at the exterior of the property, and right away I start looking at numbers like, okay, the roof looks really old, the you know, the air conditioners, they need to get replaced. How does the property look also? Is it run down? Is there a bunch of trash? Is it pretty clean? Because that's going to give you an idea of what kind of tenants are here as well. So this is all information that I'm going to be sharing with my client. From the looks of it, it looks pretty clean. It's a very well kept neighborhood. You have a bunch of investment properties. I mean, quadplexes, duplexes, all along the street. So it's a renter-friendly neighborhood. You can tell right away. It's a good location here on the east side. So let's come on in. And you got 2 bedrooms. Now the nice thing about this property is that the bedrooms are really big, especially compared to the last house that we just saw for my clients. The closet, each of the bedrooms have 2 big closets that go throughout the entire side of the wall. So a lot of closet space for whoever does decide to move in. The heater doesn't look too old. Now, as far as looking at all these types of things, you know, seeing if this works or seeing the age, that's not really our job, you know, as realtors. We're not professionals in that, so I'm not a professional to give my expert opinion on that heater. But the person that would do that is the inspector. So once my clients decide on a property and they do an inspection, the inspector will be able to tell us a lot more about the property and what the property is going to need. Just walking to the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking Manny.
Hey guys.
No one's there.
It's your friendly realtor. Yeah, so we're headed to an investment property that I'm working on for an out-of-town investor. And it's really cool how I met this investor. This is actually a referral from a referral. And you know, these people reached out to me. They're over on the East Coast, North Carolina. And they reached out to me that they wanted an investment property. They wanted to invest in property out here in El Paso. Reason why is obviously, you know, prices and the market is super inexpensive here in El Paso compared to anywhere else in the US, especially when you're looking at the East Coast. And I know because I lived in Miami, you know, it's super expensive out there. Average house is about $450,000. So that gives you an idea, you know. So they reached out to me wanting to buy an investment property, and they were talking to me about buying a house. And I was like, okay, well, cool. What exactly are you guys looking for when it comes down to buying a house and getting an investment property? They told me they're looking for cash flow. So cash flow, you know, is different from just buying a house and flipping it. Cash flow is having cash coming in every single month, okay, from making one transaction. So in order for him to have cash flow, he could, one, rent out the house that he's gonna buy. So he could buy a house, rent it out to one tenant, and maybe make a couple $100 off that one tenant, which is good cash flow, right? But if he's looking for cash flow and he's looking for an investment property, I kind of gave him my 2 cents. I asked him, would you mind if I gave you my suggestion on getting an investment property? And what I've learned from investors here in El Paso, multimillionaires, developers, and the advice that they've given me, it's all about doors. So if you're thinking about investing, okay, in real estate, it's all about doors. It's not about buying a house. A house is probably one of the dumbest investments that you can make if you're looking for cash flow, okay? Now, it's not one of the dumbest investments you can make if you're looking to live in your house. That's totally different. If you're an investor looking for cash flow, it's a dumb idea to buy a house. Reason why is that's only one door, right? So if I buy one house for $150,000, I have a mortgage note, $1,200, and I'm charging rent $1,350. I'm making $150 a month, right? Because I have this one tenant. Well, what happens if this one tenant cancels his agreement and there's nobody paying me rent for that month? $1,200 is coming out of my pocket. So that's a risky investment, I could be paying half of the year out of my pocket and the other half rent. So suggested them getting a triplex or quadplex. Reason why? It's 4 doors. Okay, if you get a quadplex, that's 4 doors. That means 4 opportunities for you to make rent. Okay, so if I buy a $200,000 quadplex and my mortgage payment is $1,600, but all 4 rents I'm charging $700, what is that, $2,800? I'm paying $1,600 in mortgage, making $2,800 minus, all the taxes and everything like that. You're still coming out with $700 a month, compared to $150 a month. So that's where my suggestion kind of changed their mentality. Well, fast forward, I helped them purchase their first investment property here in El Paso in January. They bought their first quadplex over here in a really good area, very popular area here in East El Paso. And my clients contacted me again. They're ready to buy their second property here in El Paso in the same year. So we're right now in front of a quadplex that just came up on the market. We're gonna actually get off. So if you guys are interested in learning more about ROI and what makes a good investment deal a good deal, click the link here and learn from John as he breaks down what an investment property is and all the terms that you need to know to make sure that you're getting a good deal. Let us know what you think.